So how do I say this? If you've ever Neon Genesis Evangelion, the original, the way Pixar handled Toy Story's ending, I think the Incineroar ending, the way they handled it with me was a lot better. And now Star Wars I don't know. Basically, if you don't remember, Star Wars completely spit in their fans' faces. Well, I got news for you. It's not the first one that did do this. It's Neon Genesis Evangelion did first. And it did it by basically taking the ending of the original ending they planned, only making it a manga, just to make people want that ending more, even though they'll never get it. And just straight up have an ending where everyone dies and it's a bloodbath. And the Ocean of Humanity, the LCL, and Shinji is the only one that wakes up and Asura dies. It's a bloodbath and everyone dies and the angels win. Basically, if you've never seen that ending, it's horrible. It is violent, disturbing, and unlike Pixar where they at least cared who saw the Incinerator ending, where they actually decide to censor the movie with a happy ending, with the Bonnie ending for me, and for certain audiences censored the ending because they knew, and made Infinite Toy Stories because they knew they didn't want them to ever see the Incinerator cut, or even the attic cut. That one actually is the interesting cut. Apparently, and they waited for me to see the Incinerator cut until I was older. And then maybe when I'm ready, see the attic ending as well. Because you gotta remember, the toys went to Bonnie. They instead of giving me the attic ending, they gave me an ending where the toys went to Bonnie. And they did that to prevent little old 9-year-old me from being scarred. I'm 24 now. I'm a little curious to see how they actually ended the movie. Originally wanted to end the movie with the Incinerator. And there are even multiple people saying, holy shit, this would have been a better ending because they would have ended things and not made infinite sequels and gave Monsters Inc. and Bugs Life a chance to get sequels. Rather than making Toy Story 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You name it. They actually... And they did that so that way they can get me curious and more accepting of that ending, and then they'll give us the true version with the attic ending when we're even more mentally ready. Basically, that's what they wanted to do. Right? Apparently, they had to scrap that because end the attic ending, give the toys to Bonnie. Because my timeline is full of mental 12-year-olds who literally say phrases like F around and find out and S-A-D. I don't even want to say those stuff. And say stuff actual, and then say T-Big on your car in online game sections. It is disturbing, actually, what happens in this timeline. But what I'm trying to get at here is, if you've ever seen the end of Evangelion, it's basically what they could have done with Toy Story 3 and not caring about showing the real ending. Basically ends the inverse. Instead of showing the real ending, we could have easily handled in the 90s. They showed us an ending where literally everyone dies. And that is disturbing. And I'm stuck with this ending until they show the real version. Granted, maybe this year I will end up seeing Death True Squared, End of Evangelion again, and the Rebuild series, since they're all free on Prime and at Netflix respectively. But holy sweet caramba, this was awful. And they did this because they got death threats from toxic fans, and because fans hated the original TV ending, where it's Shinji accepts himself being part of the human instrumentality project. They decide we're gonna respond with the end of Evangelion and show Zura dying and Shinji choking her. And I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. Yeah, there we go. But basically, you know what? That was even worse than Star Wars. Because with Star Wars... Actually, no, Star Wars is worse. They did have a reason to do that because they were literally sending death threats to the voice actor at Japan. And the fandom was completely toxic back in the day. Now, I think they're a lot more mature and they can probably maybe one day get the real ending. Maybe. We don't know. I don't think so for most people. Then you have Star Wars, where they literally intentionally made the films bad on purpose. Put Jar Jar in there. Put, like, Anakin, made the prequels inconsistent. Made the sequel trilogy inconsistent with the originals. Literally, like, call and literally make talk lines that make no sense. And when people criticize them, say, you're just a toxic fanboy. So that one day they could say, hardy, hardy, har, har, we took away your favorite toys, Chud. And 10 years later say those movies never happened. I'm like, what? And judging by the fact that they've literally given me the wrong movies, they're like, oh my gosh, what do we do with this kid? That's probably why AMC Plus is offering the original trilogy. And I even saw once, I didn't screen cap it, it was a quick scroll and was like, what the heck did I just scroll by? But they said they would give me the original 1980 ending that didn't have, like, hopeful message in the end. Where, like, you know, they stare off into the distance. They were going to give me the end. Basically, they want to give me the unneutered version of the original trilogy and then some. Which means that theatrical cuts... Not just with, like, the theatrical versions of them, but without any of these stupid stuff that they even did back in the day because they knew audiences couldn't handle an ending where the Millennium Falcon flies away and then it ends. They just had to add a scene where they're, like, staring in front of the galaxy and then they, like, find new allies. They had to add that extra scene in there. And granted, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I cannot believe people actually think the end of Evangelion ending the way it did. It was horrible. It was awful. And I'm just gonna go outright and say this, guys. I think what's going to end up happening is they're going to come clean and say, we just accidentally put you in the wrong timeline, Caleb. Because after all, they did scan my alternate universe self. Wilfred Mullis, a weed smoker, a horrible person, who said the N-word a lot. I hate him, but he's being my alternate is forcing them to make adjustments for me. Basically... If it weren't for Wilfred Mullis being my alternate, I probably would have either been free, which is a very unlikely scenario, or they would have to, like, ban me forever from life. One of the two. And I wouldn't have gotten a Mario 64 copy, where that isn't cursed. Basically, they screwed up, and they admitted it, and they don't know how to fix it. Yeah, and I'm the reincarnation Kate Skywalker, they're saying. Basically, they fucked up. Not only that, but because of it, they're giving me my own trilogy with episode 10, 11, and 12 is going to have Kate Skywalker in it. The real versions of it. They will not show me the Rey Palpatine New Jedi Order movies because they think that those versions are not suitable for me. Other than that, I do have to tell you something. I mean, you mean to tell me we got the wrong versions of all of it? The only time I can understand... Now, here's the thing. The only time I understand why getting the wrong versions was okay for me was with Toy Story 3. Now, you guys from Post Shift may realize Unless you're one of the few pre-shift people watching. In that case, Godspeed, you know what I'm talking about. But basically, you guys saw an ending where everyone died and all the toys burned and lots of looked down and laughed. Apparently, that's not how it ended. They knew that was too dark for me. The Stasis of Fate, so they gave me the Bonnie ending instead. I think I prefer that ending for now because the version with the toys dying in the incinerator could have been very traumatic for a younger me. Okay, I understand why they gave the ending we got now. Granted, people are saying that they think, but yeah, if you want evidence, yeah, there's Toy Story 4, 3, 2, and 1. 1 and 2 are mixed up, by the way. Yes, I have Moana 2. I'm planning to watch it. It's part of a 2-part story. Yeah. What I'm basically going to say here, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, is, I'm going to be honest here, that's the only time I understand. Because Pixar's handling of that situation might be better too. Because I do think they knew it was a little too dark for me, little old me, to see that ending. Now, well, I'm starting to wonder if they're going to make 6 and 7 and they're going to continue it forever and never make a Monsters Inc. 3. Part of me is wondering that might have been better. So that way Monsters Inc. 2 could be made. Toy Story 0 can maybe be made. Monsters Inc. 3, Bugs Life 2. I mean, guess if you wanted to do another Toy Story, you could make a prequel. I would prefer that. Because there's a Monsters prequel in my timeline that, granted, I hated back in the day because that is a serious plot hole. There was a scene that they deleted where they were supposed to, Mike and Sully was supposed to teach each other the 4th, 5th grade. They moved to a different school, and they were going to forget about each other until college. They cut that thinking it would disrupt the message. I don't care. They should have had that in there to keep continuity alive. Because now the continuity of Monsters Inc. is dead. Thanks to that movie existing. But yeah. I think either have the toys die in the incinerator or just put them in the attic and only make 2 more sequels. I think that would have been better. That could have been interesting. Those are the only 2 endings I will accept because the version of 4 I got, a lot of people are criticizing it. It's a good movie in my eye, but I understand why it's divisive. Same game goes for 5. But then you have, even though I will say I'm considering getting a 4K for 5, only because it showed why iPad kids could be toxic. But yeah, let's just be brutally honest here. This Twist of Fate handled that a lot better. Basically, they knew I was not Twist of Fate, and maybe even Pixar themselves knew I was not mentally prepared to handle the incinerator ending until I was like 24 at least. Now I think I'm curious because I know that they're starting to make Infinite Toy Stories and it's getting on my nerves. I want a Monsters Inc. 2 immediately. And when I hear on the news that they're like, oh, we're gonna make Monsters Inc. 3, you didn't even make 2! Where's Monsters Inc. 2 already? You gotta make 3. Like, oh my goodness. And Grant, that basically means Cars 4. They did say that's going to be the unlock point. After Stitch Head and Back to the Future and Terminator 2D No Fame Zelda. Ocarina of Time and 64 copy. Which was massive coincidence. I don't know how that happened. Oh wait, it happened because the Analog 3D got delayed until like that game released. And basically, it took a long time for them to actually make that game. But yeah. basically, let's just say this. I'm going to be honest here. What am I saying? I'm going to be brutally honest here. I think they knew that, I think the cruel twist of fate knew it might have been a better choice to show the body ending if I couldn't see the attic ending. Because the incinerator ending literally is too dark. And Pixar handling of it might be better off anyways. Whereas Justice Evangelion, they're handling it, but I understand why they showed that ending. Because their fan base definitely deserved it, but everyone dying and Jorah dying in the hands of Shinji in the end was just too dark for me and in my past life. And in this life, I'm like, what the heck happened here? I'm like one of those aliens looking over the ruins of the human civilization saying, what could have prevented the humanity from going extinct? As like one of the successors to humanity. Like, seriously, come on, that is insane. But basically, I'm just going to be brutally honest here and say that I don't know how to handle that in the 90s. Now I can admit that's the way it happened. It's too late. But jeez. And Star Wars, oh my goodness. They made a serious mistake putting me in the making me watch The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, and the prequels I watched with, like, Jar Jar Binks. The originals I still love. Like, but I kind of only love them watching them in a vacuum with Rogue One. With other pieces of media. Basically, Star Wars repeat the same mistake Neon Genesis Evangelion made.